Why you are stuck at 50k per month, and here's how to break through. In this video, I'm going to show you the real reason that high ticket coaches and info product owners are stuck at 50k per month. And no, it's not your offer, it's not your marketing, and it's not even your sales skills. Then I'm going to give you the exact 5-step formula to break through the ceiling from as soon as this month. Lucas here. If you're new to the channel and don't know who I am, welcome. I'm on a mission to help high ticket coaches escape the one-on-one sales call grind and start building challenge funnels that help them sign 20 new high ticket clients in the next 90 days guaranteed. So let's get into the real problem. So what is the real problem? And here's what I've heard the coaches that I've personally spoke to say. They need better ads. Well, this is wrong. They need better funnels. This is also wrong. And they need better closers. And this is also wrong. But why is this wrong? Let me first of all, before I tell you why this is wrong, break down some maths for you, right? So let's just say you're maybe a smaller coach and you do the calls yourself. You don't yet have a sales team. Let's break down the maths. If you're doing the calls yourself, you can realistically take what? Maybe it's 10 to 15 calls per week. And let's say you're good, like a pretty good closer, right? You've got a 30% close rate. That's 12 to 16 clients per month, which sounds pretty good, right? And that's at 2k per client, let's just say. That's 24 to 32k of new revenue each month, which sounds great, right? Except you're capped. You physically cannot scale past that without cloning yourself. So now let's look at if you have a sales team. So if you've got a sales team, you thought you may have solved this problem. You hired closers and maybe a couple of setters too. But here's what actually happened. You're paying 10 to 20% of commission on every sale that the closers get you, plus maybe even a base salary. To hit 50k per month at 2k per client, you need about 25 clients, and your closers need 70 plus qualified calls to even deliver on that. And your setter needs to reach out to well over 1,500 new people to book these calls. And let me just quickly ask you something. You've got a proven offer. Your clients get results. You know what you're doing. So why are you stuck at maybe 20, 25, and even 30k per month? And you just can't seem to break past that barrier. And here's the real problem that we've just worked out through the maths that we've done there. Your sales model requires human effort. For every single sale, and I don't care that if it's you or if you've got a sales team, every client you sign, it needs someone to convince them. And that's the bottleneck. Do you see the problem? To scale this model, you need more people. More closers means more management. More management means more training, more payroll, more headaches. And every single month, you're paying those salaries whether you hit numbers or not. So the real issue isn't actually your offer at all. It's that your sales infrastructure, whether that's you or a team, is designed to cap you. So what actually is the solution to this? What if you could sell to hundreds at once instead of one-on-one sales? What instead of needing your closer to convince someone from scratch, they're talking to people who already trust you, already experience your methodology, and are basically 80% sold before the call even happens. That's leverage, and that's what breaks the ceiling. And the issue is, most high ticket coaches never figure this out. They keep feeding the machine more ads, more leads, more calls, more closers. They're working harder, but their revenue stays flat because the model itself is the constraint. And if you want to hit 50, 75, 100k plus months, you need to change the model, not your offer, not your team, fundamental way that you're acquiring clients. All right, so now you're probably thinking, okay, Lucas, I get I need to change my model, but what do I need to use? And that's exactly what I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to give you the exact 5-step formula that you should follow to scale past 50k per month without spending thousands on ads, without working longer hours, or without hiring an army of Indian or Filipino virtual assistants that we see a lot of coaches doing just to offload some of the tedious tasks. So before we get into like the 5-step formula, let's talk about what the vehicle actually is. And it's of course a challenge funnel. And a challenge funnel, if you didn't know, to simply put this, it's a 3 to 5 day live or automated virtual event with the sole goal of challenging your leads to get a specific outcome from your challenge. And then you could upsell your high ticket program at the end of the 3 to 5 days of live training. And we have seen people like William Brown, Laura Acosta, Iman, Brez, Jordan Platten, Dan Henry, and so many more launch a challenge in this last month. And this is because they all know that going into 2026, this is simply just the future of your info and coaching business. So let's get into the 5-step formula that is going to change how you acquire clients in 2026. So number one, the first thing that you need to do before you run a challenge funnel is define the biggest problem that your audience has. And here's where most coaches screw this up. They build challenges around what they want to teach, not what their audience is desperately trying to solve right now. You need to understand the difference between a problem and the problem. A problem could be, I need to grow my business, but the problem would be, I haven't signed a client in 6 weeks and I'm going to miss my mortgage payment. Do you see the difference? One is vague and distant, whilst the other is urgent and visceral. And your challenge needs to solve the problem, the one that has them lying awake at 3 a.m., the one that they'd pay anything to fix today. And here's how you find it, right? You go listen to your last 10 sales calls. What words do they use? What frustrations do they describe? And what's the thing that they've been struggling with for months? That's your challenge topic. Not what you think they need, what they actually need. And step number 2 to building a challenge funnel is to define the biggest solution that they want and give them a clear outcome. And I see this mistake all the time, right? Most coaches make their challenges about information. So, like, learn my system or discover my framework. But no one cares about your system. They care about what the system gets them. Your challenge isn't about teaching, it's all about transformation and challenging the leads, hence the name Challenge Funnel. And you need to promise a specific measurable outcome that they can achieve during or immediately after your challenge. Not you'll learn, not you'll understand, you'll get specific outcome or result. And here's the critical part. That outcome needs to be a sample of what your paid program delivers. And it's proof, it's a quick win that makes them think, holy shit, if I got this in a 3-day live event, what would actually happen if I was working with these for 3 months, 6 months on a one-to-one basis? And number 3 is setting up the systems. The challenge training, the email sequences, the pipelines, and the follow-ups are the 4 main things that you need. And this is where most coaches get overwhelmed, right? They think they need to build a funnel, they need email sequence, and they need tech and automation. And they never actually launch because there's so much going on. But these are the only 4 things that you need. So number 1 is the training content. 3 days, 3 sessions, each one delivers a quick win that builds trust and positions your paid program as the next logical step. How you structure this matters more than what you actually teach and use to deliver it. The next thing you need is the pre-challenge emails. And they're not going to be basic reminder emails where you're like, the challenge starts in 24 hours, here's the link. They need to be pure value-driven emails that address objections, give them the right information. Because if you look at it like an interest spectrum, for example, the people who have more information are typically more interested, and you can control the information that they get. So if you're sending emails with things about your offer, things about what they're going to learn, things about objections, and stuff about what you're actually going to break down and learn, if you give them what they want to hear, why wouldn't they show up? So think of it like that. It's not just reminder emails, it's value-driven emails. And number 3 is the post-challenge emails. The people who don't buy on day 3, they're not no's, they're just not yet in most cases. So your email sequence is there to answer objections, share success stories, and give them every reason to say yes. And a lot of your revenue actually comes from this and not even the live pitch. So number 4 is the follow-up infrastructure. So if you're solo, you need a system to personally reach out to attendees. And if you have a team, your setters need a list of warm leads to call or either text. Either way, someone needs to be following up with the people who have showed up but not purchased yet. And here's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to give you my exact email templates, my training structure, or my follow-up scripts, because those are pretty dialed in and specifically for the people who I work with one-to-one. So I'm not going to give that stuff out on YouTube, but I am going to make an offer at the end of this if you do want all of these scripts and you want to work one-on-one to build a challenge funnel that generates 20 new high-ticket clients. I'm going to get into like a little call to action at the end, so to speak. But for now, we'll just go on to the next part of the value. And it's number 4, promote the challenge through social medias, email lists, and ads, which is optional, right? So here's what most coaches think. They think they need a huge audience to fill up a challenge. You don't need a huge audience. You just need a mobilized one. And I've seen coaches with like 500 people on their email list generate over 150K from challenges. I've also seen coaches with 50,000 followers do a challenge that just completely flops. And the difference is just how you position and promote it. Your challenge isn't free training, it's an exclusive event. It's a limited time incentive. It's something they're lucky to get access to. If you promote it like it matters, like it's a big deal, and spots are actually limited, and they should be. And if you can't take more than like 200 people on at once, cap it at 200 people, because real scarcity actually works. And number 5 is delivering the training. This is where everything comes together, right? You've built the anticipation, people showed up, and now you need to deliver. Here's the reframe, right, that most coaches are missing. Your challenge isn't about teaching, it's actually about selling. Every single thing that you do in the 3 days is moving people towards the offer. every story you tell, every framework you introduce, every quick win that you give them. You're not just delivering value, you're positioning yourself as the person who can take them from where they are now to where they want to be. But look, right, I just gave you the framework, but here's what I didn't give you: the exact challenge structure that converts at 15 to 20%, not 5 to 10% like most coaches, the email sequences that we use to fill challenges and nurture post event, the positioning strategies that make your offer feel like a no brainer, and the pitch frameworks and the follow up systems. That stuff, that's what we build together because it needs to be custom to you. But if you take this framework, these 5 steps that are listed above, and you actually implement them, you'll break through that 30K ceiling faster than you thought was ever possible. You need to stop trading your time for money and start selling one to many. So that's all for today's video. Look, if you're one of those coaches stuck doing discovery calls all day and your revenue keeps hitting the same ceiling every single month, there is a link in the description, and it's the offer I was talking about above. And it's not like a masterclass or free training or any of that bullshit. It's literally just me explaining how we build challenge funnels that get coaches off the sales call hamster wheel. It is a sales funnel. I'm not hiding that at all. I don't really care if you click it or not. You don't need to. Honestly, it doesn't bother me either way. But if you're tired of trading your time for money, it might be worth a look. Anyways, that's a wrap on this one. If this has helped you see something differently, smash that like button, drop a comment on what you've got, any questions, anything like that, anything you found valuable, please do let me know. Hit the subscribe button if you want more ways to escape the one-on-one grind. Have an amazing rest of your day, and thanks for hanging out with me. I do really appreciate it.